last midnight. Guys, come on. There you go. It's the last mid-week or see, I can't even get it out now. We already had a mistake, technical difficulty, and here we are. It is the last weekday show, and we have been saying all week, we watched the Yankees game all throughout the week. We got it right here in the studio, watching the Yankees perform. They're down 2-1 to the Cleveland Guardians. I'm not liking it. Eric Judge, bottom of the sixth. He's 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. And looks like Ian Hamilton, just something's up with him. So it looks like he's out. So bummer for the bomb squad. Be all right. Yankees are up 2-0. We'll bounce back. Nevertheless, we are live. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I am your host, Blake Ruffino. This is Are You Serious Sports? Hope all of you are making it a good one. We know that we are as well. Lots to get to tonight. Brian Kelly meets with the media in the final time. Pretty much confirms that C.J. Daniels, the wide receiver transfer from Liberty, is going to be a go this week versus Arkansas. He is going to be, or the situation he presents for you is going to be a key to victory here tonight. I'll explain why a little bit later. So glad to have him back in the lineup. Brian Kelly also talks about Trey'Dez Green. We will talk about that as well. Maybe he will come up in a key to victory. Maybe not so much. It kind of confirmed our thought of last night, if you watched last night's show, about Trey'Dez Green. About, I don't know, like midway through the rant of Trey'Dez Green, we had said, I don't know if he's picking up the plays fast enough and give him a wristband. Why they don't want to, he just needs to know the plays. Give him a wristband. It's that simple. Let him put it on his belt, on his pants. You don't have to put it on his wrist. If you're worried about guys stealing signs, then change out cards. You can do 10 different cards you can give to him throughout the game. I mean, it's not that difficult. I mean, you would think, catchers and pitchers go through it every single day. Every single day. It's not that difficult to figure out, but will he be an impact? Brian Kelly says he'll have some minimal plays, but hopefully those plays are impactful. So we'll talk about that here tonight as well. We'll go through week 8 picks here tonight. Excuse me. Your boy is 51-19 on this show with picks. 51 wins, 19 losses, 72.8% winning percentage. I don't go against the spread. We're going straight pick'ems. Don't go to betonline.ag and do the point spread. Pick the winners. I tell you, I don't parlay. Hey, look, man, if I win $1, if I win $1,000, it's money I didn't have. Singles win the race. Singles win the game, I should say. So that's why I never have to cash out, because I always got money in the account. Singles win, but 51-19, not a bad year so far for your boy. And at the end, as we do every Tuesday and Thursday, hashtag Ask Blake at the end of the show, thoughts, questions, concerns. Yes, I will take thoughts or questions on the Saints. I guess we could technically pregame the Saints in their game tonight versus the Broncos. I hope that bald-headed scallywag, Sean Payton, loses tonight. I don't like Sean Payton like some of y'all do. I think at the end of the tenure, blocking people like, bro, I didn't even tag Sean Payton in a tweet, and he blocked us because I said that's an interesting call there with Taysom Hill after Drew Brees had started off the game 12 for 12. And then Taysom Hill fumbled the football, and you wind up losing the game. What do I know? Don't criticize Sean Payton. He'll block you on Twitter. What do I know? All right. Let's get to a couple comments before we get rolling. Gerald Rhodes with a $5 super chat says, I owe you this for me going to the Ole Miss game. I forgot about this. Gerald Rhodes says, I owe you this because I told him if I convinced his wife to go to the Ole Miss game, he'd send in a super chat. I owe you this for me going to the Ole Miss game. Insane environment for sure. Favorite show of the week. Thursdays are always lovely. Gerald, you held up to your end of the bargain. I think I held up to my end of the bargain, right? Convincing your wife live on a paid sponsored show to go to the game. I told you it was going to be electric, man. Did your wife go with you is the question. Did she go with you? Is the ultimate question, because she'll never tell you. She'll never tell you if she had fun or not. So we'll see. Let me get to this. Okay, because I want to mention something. There are some things out there about Bryce Underwood. Here's what I'm going to say about Bryce Underwood. In case you've missed it, there have been rumblings and rumors of Bryce Underwood can potentially flipping his commitment. Here's what I'm going to say. When Dave Portnoy and other boosters came out there from Michigan and started saying stuff about money and how much money that they would give, I think that you're highly naive to think that people won't listen when that level of money is being thrown around. I don't care what you think that the staff, meaning LSU staff, thinks that they're telling you. There are conversations being had, because from one father to another, if a message of $3 to $4 million a year is being talked about and they want to go after me or my son, I am just going to tell you conversations are going to be had, whether you like it or not. So I have not heard anything official yet, and I still think LSU sits in a good place. But conversations happen in recruiting every single week, every single day. That's what I'd say about it. So, yeah. So thank you, Gerald, for the super chat. I had seen some of these things from rumors that people had asked about Bryce Underwood. We might have to take something to the forum. Texas Vet with a $10 super chat says, Sean is the GOAT. He was until he blocked me on Twitter. He was until he blocked me on Twitter. I mean, that's soft, man. That's soft. That's so soft. I mean, come on. You can't even question a play call. And like we talked about last night, the guy who was a former coach going after our good buddy Brooks Alston. It's kind of sad, man. Like, coaches, you want media. Bro, I got to tell you this. You guys, you got to have thick skin to be in this business, to be in the coaching business, to be in a lot of different things. Guys, I get people who hate my guts every single week. Sean, not a lot, Sean's me saying that, hey, man, that's a questionable call. It's a very questionable call. Why would you do that? I mean, it is what it is, man. And he said he wanted to retire. He never wanted to retire. He wanted out of New Orleans. He didn't want to be here anymore without a Hall of Fame type of quarterback, and that's what happened. So good on Sean. Good on Sean. Taylor on YouTube with a $5 super chat says, do you think Caden was 100% against Ole Miss? No. Do you think continuing to play on it will stop from getting all the way back? So here's what I'd say. No, he was not 100%. Secondly, I don't know that. I don't want to cop out and say, like, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, obviously they felt good enough for him to play last week in the big game, but I have no idea in reference to, what, dislocated toes or something like that. I don't know. I'm not a doctor. But in reference to your big question, do I think he's 100%? No. Here's what I also tell you. Do I think anybody is 100% health-wise right now in the season? No, they're not. Guys, bumps and bruises are happening everywhere. Injuries have been a big part of the game so far this season, just in college football in general. You have relatively been, knock on one, some of the lucky. You've had some lucky stuff. I mean, Chris Hilton being out, and people continue to go after Chris Hilton like he doesn't want to be out there, but it is what it is. It is what it is. So, no, I don't think he was 100%, nor do I think he's 100% right now. We'd have to ask him. Probably 90, 95% is what he'd say. Gerald Rhodes says, Blake, my wife, my mother, who just beat breast cancer and is now cancer-free. Congrats to her, man. 14 rows up in north end zone. What a night. Congratulations to your mom, man. My mom also went through that. She did not have chemo. She had the radiation. I've had 2 aunts that have gone through it. My grandmother has gone through it. Both of my grandmothers actually went through it, if I'm not mistaken. I forget what my grandmother Jewel went through, but not fun, man. Not fun. Landon says 817 in the building. Chance of Daniels starting this Saturday. Are you talking about CJ Daniels? Because if you're talking about CJ Daniels, I'd say 100%. I mean, guys, Brian Kelly, we'll talk about this when we go around and we talk about Brian Kelly's press conference from today. I mean, he said every day that he's practicing, he looks good. I mean, he wouldn't say that if he wasn't a go. The only reason they have him as probable and on the list is just in case some stuff pops off with him, right? So we'll see. All right, time to get rolling. Guys, let me do this. Let me tell you about our good friends over at Cherry Bundy. That's cherrybundy.com. Listen, for all of those, well, at least some of us, that still go to the gym, I'm telling you, man, Cherry Bundy helps reduce soreness, increase recovery, contains natural occurring melatonin to help improve sleep, help support immunity. It's why 66 of 67 college football Power 4 teams use Cherry Bundy for recovery. Every NCAA football and basketball national champion since 2007. So your LSU Tigers also use this product. Their products can be found on Amazon, cherrybundy.com, or any realtor, including Publix, Kroger, etc. That's cherrybundy.com. Go over there today. All right. Let's get moving. Let me get to a quick break. We'll come right back, and we'll talk about keys to victory. We'll come. So keys to victory, Week 8 picks, and Brian Kelly's press conference. In the break, I need you to do me a favor. Like, share, subscribe, all that stuff. If you're on Facebook, if you're on YouTube, wherever you listen to podcasts, do us a favor. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, notification bell. We greatly appreciate y'all doing that. Oh, and by the way, we do a lot of SEC content, a lot of SEC football content. Go over to AYS Sports SEC. Hit that subscribe button there as well if you don't mind. Let's talk about our good friends very quickly. We come back right back. Keys to victory this week for LSU versus Arkansas. Stay with us. BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way for you to wager on all of your favorite sports, contests, events with the first-to-market odds and lines. Find reviews for all the news for each league, including Major League Baseball, NFL, NBA, NHL, combat sports, college sports, esports, and even golf. BetOnline continues to be the top online resource for all of your sports information for live in-game betting, props, and futures. Head on over to BetOnline today and use your mobile device to join and make your first sports bet. Use our promo code BELIEVE50, that's BELIEVE50, BLEAV 50, to receive your 50% off welcome bonus on your first deposit. That's betonline.ag, betonline.ag.
He will sell your house and find you a new. Well, Tyler's the man, he's here for you. If you want to buy or sell, well, it's not too late. Dial 955-0008. Just call 955-0008. Y'all call Tyler, he'll shoot you straight.
Louisiana is unique. The food, the festivals, even the bugs. No, not mud bugs. Unwanted bugs like these. The ones you don't want crawling in your home or business. Trust the Shield from J&J Exterminating. We've been protecting Louisiana homes for over 50 years, earning the trust of our clients because we deliver what we promise. Protect your home from pests. Get the Shield from J&J Exterminating.
J&J Exterminating. Yeah. J&J has protected Louisiana homes and businesses for over 60 years.
Call him today, make the pests go away. J&J Exterminating. Yeah.
All right. Let's get rolling. You know what day it is. You know what time it is. It's Thursday, or if you're rewatching this clip, it's on a Friday. So good luck to you on your last day of work. But every Thursday, we go through our keys to victory for the game that LSU football has in its upcoming week. Let's get to it here today. Listen, I think that for me, going into this game versus Arkansas, guys, I have a very I don't even know how – I don't know what words to use. You know, I've been thinking about this all day. What words do I want to use to describe my feelings about LSU versus Arkansas this week? Because I don't know how good I feel about LSU in this football game at all. Look, I just saw a situation where LSU was at home at night, a raucous environment, the tension around the place and in Baton Rouge. You know, we were out and about on Friday night in Baton Rouge. I did not feel good about it at all. Or I felt good. Let me back up. I felt really good about the vibe in Baton Rouge last Friday. So almost a week ago to the day, I felt really good on that LSU would come out with a victory. On Thursday of last week, I tweeted, "We ain't losing!" ! Bookmark the tweet. LSU didn't lose. I have the opposite feeling going into this game versus Arkansas. I think the same thing that you had to your advantage last week in Baton Rouge, Arkansas has this week in Fayetteville. Now, I don't know if there will be a situation where they can replicate some of the things that you did this last Saturday. I don't know if they have the light show or if they'll do the wristbands. They certainly won't have an entire crowd of 102,000 singing "Set It Off" in this mother like they were Little Boosie. Even though some other fan bases thought it was trashy, yeah, you can kick rocks. I don't really care. But as our good buddy Ty Richardson talked about on Tuesday, as you and I have discussed previously, guys, I think you're walking into a buzzsaw. Now, the nation, if you go into Fayetteville and win, the nation will not, some of the nation will not give you the credit that you deserve going into that hostile environment and winning. Doesn't matter. Get the win. I don't care how you do it, but you just got to go in there and win. Because this is a tough ball game that you're going into. It's a tough team, a team that has been top 10 all year in total offense. You got to be able to contain. So the number one thing, and going into an environment that is going to be as hostile and raucous and chaotic as the redhead, hog-loving, moonshine-loving Arkansas fans, you got to, for once, against a P4 opponent, start fast. There's no questions about this. You got to take the crowd out. You know, while the crowd was so raucous in Baton Rouge, number one, it's just a raucous place. It's a hell of a place to play. It's where opponents' dreams come to die. But Ole Miss kept that crowd in the football game, going for it on fourth down in their own red zone. And Braden Swinson busts through the line of scrimmage and gets a tackle behind the line of scrimmage for you to get a turnover on downs. You know, I thought about this today too. What would have happened if Lane Kiffin would have kicked that football there? Like, what would have happened? It's a question that I ask. If he would have kicked the field goal and at some point during the game they would have been up 20 or 17, would have been a much bigger deal than what it was in your comeback. You got to start off fast. Either way, I thought that you know, it's just of my opinion, and I know a lot of you are going to come in here and say every time that you win a toss, you need to defer to the second half. I don't mind being aggressive. I don't mind going out there and want to punch somebody in the mouth if you have a good game plan to go down and march down the field and go down and score, even if it's 3 points. It doesn't bother me if you take the ball first and you go down there and score. Either way, either you take the football or you defer. Defense, offense, whoever it is has got to be locked in and has to be ready to go because you got to take this crowd out of it. Because if you don't, what happened 2 weeks ago against Tennessee with Arkansas? Guys, did you go back and rewatch that game in case you missed it? Now, if I'm not mistaken, wasn't LSU playing at that around that same time? Maybe I am wrong. Whenever I remember that game being played at night. Oh yeah, LSU played South Alabama. Did they not? I forget who they played. Maybe they were by. I don't remember. But going back and rewatching that game, that lad was ready to go. You got to start fast, man. You know, your defense did and has the last 2 weeks, which if you're Brian Kelly, you have to think to yourself, well, man, you know what? South Alabama bye week, refocus, and even going into last week versus Ole Miss, our defense has been the side of the football that started off fast. Even if you go and look at USC. Now, South Carolina, you did not. And, that's a whole different ball game. A whole completely different ball game, and you found a way to win. And that's a good thing that you did. Found a way to win. But, man, either one doesn't matter to me. The number one thing that you have to do is you got to start off fast. Get that crowd out of it. Build some momentum. Shut them up. I'm telling you, that place is ready to explode, and I think that you're in for a tough one. Number 2. Got a lot of flack this week. I posted the whole 7-minute segment on Twitter today. So in case you missed it, there's a 7-minute analogy or just take that I had. It was in do's and don'ts from last night. I posted it on Twitter. I'm going to re-emphasize and talk about this again. Because, guys, if you don't do number 2, you are going to lose. I don't really feel like it's opinion at this point, okay, for me. And, of course, because I feel so strongly about this, but based off of what we've seen from Arkansas and the issues that LSU has had, you better do number 2. Number 2 is, man, you cannot continue to turn over the football. Guys, we talked about this last night. Last time that Arkansas played against Tennessee, their first 3 drives, 16 plays, 9 plays, 13 plays. Guys, they had the ball 9 minutes, 5 minutes, 8 minutes. If your offense is not on the field, you're not going to score. Now, did Tennessee play simple and bite them in the rear end? Yes. Second half, they had success because they put pressure on the quarterback. They sent some exotic stuff from the slot blitzes, some stunts. That's how they were able to make stops in the second half. Didn't work long because Taylor Green started picking them apart when they went simple again. But, guys, listen to me. I don't care who's turning the ball over. I don't care if it's Nuss, Durham. I don't care who it is, wherever it is, whoever it is. Guys, you cannot give Arkansas extra possessions. Now, I know what they would say, and I know what I would say if I was an Arkansas fan. You know, if I was Arkansas, the number one thing that I would talk about this week is, hey, man, you just can't turn the ball over to LSU. They've had the same problem that you've had. The same exact problem you have had is the same reason why they lost to A&M. It's why they lost to Oklahoma State. Guys, if they clean that up, Tennessee happens. Now, I think you're a better overall team than Tennessee is. And I do think, for what it's worth, either you or A&M, and probably more you, are a more complete football team because Marcel Reed was the quarterback for A&M when it went in, and we'll have to see. My worry is that if you turn the football over, they're just going to hold on to the football and run 3 yards in a cloud of dust, get Taylor Green out on the perimeter, let him get 3, 4, 5 yards on a run. What has Bobby Petrino done in an off week and 2 weeks to prepare for you? What has he done? Now, Blake Baker in these high-profile type of games against high-profile type of play callers, Lincoln Riley, Lane Kiffin, now Bobby P. The first 2 times, Blake Baker has been pretty good. Now, remember when there were people out there arguing with me on Twitter, former LSU All-Americans arguing with me on Twitter that the defense stunk? Boy, it just shows that y'all don't know football. Not like you think that you do. Guys, you have to maintain possessions. Guys, arguably the greatest coach of all time had a saying, that being Nick Saban. And he said it when he was at LSU, he said it when he was with the Dolphins, and he said it when he was with Alabama. Every successful drive for the offense ends in a kick. Field goal, extra point, punt. Because that means in the punt, you're not turning the football over. You just had a bad drive. Now, you can't have too many of those, but that's a whole different conversation. Field goal, you're getting into field goal range, and you're kicking it. You're getting points on the board. Not exactly what you want, but at least you're getting points. And obviously, an extra point offensively is arguably the second best thing that you can do. You just can't give them the ball back. Guys, last week, if Braden Swinson, here was my play of the game. It came early in the game. There were many of them. Many of them. You know, I think it's tied with the Nussmeier throw to Aaron Anderson on 4th and 5. It was the Braden Swinson bust through the line of scrimmage and get a TFL because, guys, I mean, if they score there, you're giving them the ball inside your own 25-yard line. Like, that just cannot happen. Why there's been some glossing over on that, I don't know. But regardless of how it happens, you can't do it. They will Les Miles you to death. Wait, what? Sam Pittman will Les Miles you to death. 3 yards in a cloud of dust. The only difference is Taylor Green and Bobby Petrino are a little bit better than what Les Miles ever accomplished. They will Les Miles you to death. That is their game plan. That is 1,000% their game plan. If you allow them to have extra possessions, you're going to be like some of the teams that we've seen in the SEC that have been upset already this year. Vanderbilt beats Alabama. They have 42 minutes of possession because they have 2 turnovers. Ole Miss loses to Kentucky. Why? Kentucky holds on to the ball for 40 minutes. Arkansas beats Tennessee. Well, they didn't really win completely the time of possession game. It was a tale of 2 halves. Yeah, but it ultimately was the thing that won them the football game because they're having the ball for 9 and 8-minute drives. You go into a half up 3-0. Now, the second half is where things got gnarly for them, and adjustments were made by Heupel. You get my gist. Whatever it is, I don't care how mad you get at me. I'm always going to come out here and tell you the truth. You can't do it. Number 3, Nussmeier. So if we did this a week ago, and I told you the number 5 thing for me was if you beat Ole Miss, it was going to be in the hands and the arms of Garrett. Same goes for this week. Guys, there are going to be key throws that he's got to make. I don't know. I feel confident that if you stay with the run, you're going to bust a long one. I think you're going to have more success this week in the running game than you did last week. Because I look at Garrett and I say to myself, listen, I see the elite throws. I see the Kyle Parker throw. I see the Aaron Anderson throw. I see the anticipation of giving your wide receiver and Kyron Lacy the benefit of the doubt when he's in the huddle and he looks at you and says, hey, if I'm on number 28, hey, by the way, I should have came out here all week talking about and bragging about I thought that Ole Miss's biggest weakness was the far left boundary corner. I mean, maybe we should have done that. Didn't. Probably should have. Didn't. They go up against Kyron Lacy and you win a football game. I know it's in there. I know that 4 quarters of making sure that you're doing the right thing is in there. Without a doubt. And I think the way that Garrett prepared for Wisconsin is the way that he's got to orchestrate this football game. Guys, if there are checkdowns, you have to hit them. If you cannot run the football, those little stick routes and little out routes and crossers and drags, sometimes you just got to take positive yards. And I thought that game, for what it was worth, that's when he did it the best, and he needs to get back to that game. When I look at Garrett Nussmeier, I think that is the best game that he had. By far. It was not this last one. Because sometimes 30 incompletions will get you beat. Guys, 30 incompletions this week is going to get you beat. Okay? I know what he thinks that he has seen pre-snap. Guys, what a lot of teams have done is give Garrett a different look post-snap. Where they've lined up at 10, 11, 8 seconds has not been where they're at when the ball starts. I saw our good friends over at PFF had kind of given a little stat analysis on that. It is what it is. It's in there. You know, against USC, I thought Garrett got to a place where he was too gun shy to force the ball down the field. Now you get halfway through the season, and he's doing it a little too much. He's got to find that happy medium. He has to. You know, like if I'm Joe Sloan and I tell him, like, hey, man, if there's a situation on 2nd and 10, I'm going to give you 2 routes that are 7 yards, maybe shorter, but 7-yard throws, 8, 9, 10-yard throws. And you got to complete them to get first downs. You know, there were multiple times that Taylor, that Xavion could have been hit on. Got to go back to that. But in reference to keys to victory, if you win, you're going to look up and say, Garrett played much better this week. We know that he grew up last week. He had moments that weren't great. But every single start, you got to be better than you were the last. And I think when you win, or if you win, it's going to be because he made the throw that maybe that you needed instead of forced stuff. So I think he is going to do it. I think from talking to people, it's been a point of emphasis this week on, hey, man, we get it. But sometimes you got to hit these little short things. There were multiple ones of them. I think he's going to do it this week, and I think I want the Garrett from Wisconsin, not the one that we saw from last week. I know it's 2 completely different defenses. I think you get the philosophy point of what I'm talking about. I think Garrett's going to win you the football game. If you win, barring something crazy, he's going to win you the football game. What I don't want, I don't want to trade shots with them. Especially defense to defense. I don't want to do that. This team in Arkansas, I promise you, if they don't turn the football over, I promise you, they will lean on you, and they will lean on you until you break. Their losses come because of bad decision-making too. They just weren't an overall better team to overcome those situations. They weren't. All right. Number 4. You got to continue to be aggressive. Look, if I think that what we talked about last week with Ole Miss having a big and massive issue on one boundary corner, I think that Ty Richardson, that's why I asked him the question. I could make the argument that the alt-right biggest weakness for Arkansas has been the play of their tackles. That can benefit you with Braden Swinson. So let's talk about why. I think you still got to be aggressive and go after them. You got to get after Taylon Green. You have to put pressure on them. You cannot let him be back there and sit back there and make decisions. I don't think Braden Swinson's going to allow that. But if there's a weakness that we've seen from Arkansas through the first 6 games that they've played, the reason that they're 87th in the country in sacks allowed, some of it is because Green isn't making right decisions quick enough. A lot of it's been because both tackles at times in pass pro has gotten pushed around. That helps you in the sense of when you send heat and get after them, I don't feel that they have enough to hold up for 4 quarters. Like I could see a close game, it being 24-21 and Braden Swinson because Blake Baker sends the heat or Major Burns or whoever it is come up with a key sack because the tackle play at Arkansas has been very suspect. Very suspect. If there's a massive area of weakness, it actually, guys, it's the biggest weakness that they have. Borderline the turnovers, yes. I mean, you could say that the turnovers are their biggest weakness, but they finally cleaned it up the last time they played. Guys, Tennessee got after their rear end in that second half and put a licking on them. That's why they were able to come back in the football game. They didn't play passive. If you play passive on Bobby Petrino, he will beat you. Ultimately, he will beat you. I think Blake Baker has shown the style and aggressiveness that he wants to be aggressive. You know, there was a play twice. There was a play early in the game. I clipped it and should show you, but if we play clips from the game, we get copyrighted, and I don't want to do that. But some of my buddies this week, I sent copies of this. You know, there was a critical 3rd and 5 that Lane Kiffin ran the football, and the aggressiveness doesn't only pay off in the passing game, but it pays off in the running game so much too. You know, there was that crucial 3rd and 5 call where Ole Miss punted the football, or did they punt the football, or they went for it on 4th. I forget what happened, but Major Burns came off the edge. Now, my friends know because we had discussions on this play about Burns. He came off the edge and got a tackle for no gain in the running game on a just simple dive play. I think that you can have tons of success. That means Savion Jones, Braden Swinson, even Major Burns, depending on how they slide the line. Got to be big. You can win here. This is not a week to just say, hey, man, I had a good week against Ole Miss. Savion Jones has got to be big. To be real with you, too, there have been signs of Deshaun Womack coming in and being critical in moments, too. Him and Paez getting a sack late in the game. You got to continue to just get after them. Speed has been their issue. Teams with speed has massively been an issue for Arkansas on the outside, both in the running game and in the pass game. You know, A&M in the second half did something very similar to the style of stuff that Blake Baker would do. They put a safety at the end line of scrimmage and say, you know what, man, run it right at us. But I'm going to tell you right now, we're faster than you at every level. They benefited them. Continue the pressure, man. They're 87th in sacks. You're 4th in sacks. Your interior and exterior guys got to be really good. All right, last thing. I think that Brian Kelly has been so good at managing games inside the game. And I think he's been very good at clock management. I think he's been very good in crucial situations, specifically at home. Guys, I trust BK to do what he thinks is right. And normally in the 33-year career that he's had in game, he can make adjustments and stuff on the fly. He's really good at it. I don't know if you don't play a little keep away from them in the first half. You know, you got to be aggressive. Look, I'll say it like this. I think if you get off to an early lead, you get up 10-0, you get up 14-0. Against you, I don't think that they can catch up to you. Tennessee, they could, because Tennessee and Nico have a very bad issue of throwing the football. Your issue is that you throw it too much. Their issue is that they just can't do shit. They have no pulse whatsoever offensively outside of the running game. Pass game, they've been poo-poo. I think you got to go for it, man. I think you got to come out throwing some haymakers offensively. Now, what do I mean by haymakers? I'm not talking about deep shots. I'm talking about being aggressive in some of the things that you do. I think that's, like I mentioned earlier, I think some of these things to CJ Daniels, who we're going to talk about in a minute, and Mason Taylor can really benefit you, because you got to get CJ Daniels and Mason Taylor the football. You got to find ways to do it. They are too good and too athletic for you not to throw them the football. If you want to keep them underneath, keep them underneath. Guys, 8 yards is 8 yards. And I think that keeping the ball away from them to some extent while being aggressive in some of the things that you do. Guys, for me, on 1st and 10, if you throw a hitch route for 7 yards and it's completed, I take that as a massive win. I don't care if you throw it or run it for a 7-yard clip. But I could see you doing that to Mason Taylor. I could see you doing that to CJ Daniels. You know, one thing that I think about last year that I love Mike Denbrock about, guys, there were so many times on first downs that Mike Denbrock, to keep teams honest, would come out and throw a quick hitch route to Kyron Lacy. Guys, that was his go-to in 2022. Either Jeray Jenkins or Kyron Lacy early in drives would catch a hitch route. Guys, there's nothing wrong with that. That's such a successful play. Being at 2nd and 8, 2nd and 3, it's such a winnable thing. But I think that is aggressive, because a lot of teams like to run the football early in drives. CJ Daniels being back, I think, is a big deal. How it impacts this game, if they're actually going to start getting him the football, I don't know. But we have seen that he has been a very good possession receiver. Very good possession receiver. Him and Mason Taylor have been really good this year when you've given them the opportunities. You just haven't given them enough great opportunities for them to be successful in crucial situations. When you're in the red area, you've gone to Trey'Dez Green twice. You've gone to Kyron Lacy a majority of the time, and Aaron Anderson a few. And when you went to Aaron Anderson, you've had success. When you've gone to Trey'Dez Green, you've had success. When you've gone to Kyron Lacy, guys, it's been about 50-50. I think that those two guys can benefit you. So be aggressive. I consider that aggressive, if I'm being honest. I don't need you taking bomb shots. That's, as our good buddy Jake Crane would say, that's bombs over Baghdad. That's too aggressive. Go after their ass. Play a little keep away early. There was one last thing that I'd say here. To counterpart my number 2. Guys, you've been really good at turning the football over. You have not been good at generating points off of turnovers. 9 complete total turnovers with interceptions, fumbles, and turnover on downs. You've got 9 points. Here's the thing, too. I need to see Tennessee. I need to see Arkansas play another game like Tennessee where they're mistake-free. We can't. Like, I maybe it's just me, okay? I'm not looking past this game. And I think that if you can do some good things, guys, they're a very beatable football team for you. Regardless of the crowd, regardless of everything that they have going on, you can go into Fayetteville and win. They have to also live up to the part where they Don't turn the football over again. Guys, they're also in the 90s in turnovers themselves. I think you can do a lot of really good stuff. So, look, BK has been good at re-rallying the troops after something that's been emotional. A&M game, I get it. Arkansas game, I get it in year one. You still won football games, or you still won the football game against Arkansas. This is a better team. You can't. I really don't know if this team is like. What are we looking past to? Like, I feel like if I'm as a player, I'm thinking to myself like, hey man, let's get going. We can really do this. We can really make a playoff run. I'm not looking past Arkansas. And, I think what's interesting, Josh Williams said something this week like, hey, man, I've been here for a long time and seen a lot of good quarterbacks. And he said in his press conference this week, like, hey, man, we talked to Garrett. I talked to Garrett. I talked to everybody like, hey, man, like, you can do something if you refocus and get ready for this team. And I agree with him. Guys, I'll say this every week. Josh Williams is like one of my favorite Tigers ever. Without a doubt. All right. P. Scott with a $5 super chat says, I know this is way in the future. I think LSU will have to hit the portal for a wide receiver 1 next year. Tough game at Arky. The run game will show up. I agree with P. Scott with the thing that she said at the end. I think you guys stay with it. You can't go away from running the football. Guys, I just have a different philosophy than some. Maybe. There are a lot of times when people disagree with me that I feel like, hey, we just see things differently. 3.9 yards per carry is better than 30 incompletions. You can, if you run the football and you only get a yard or no gain, that doesn't stop that you should just not come back to it the very next play. It does, I feel like when we have a negative play considering in the running game, we just won't come back to it. Like, I'll think about this. Remember when Caden Durham ran the draw and everybody's like, yeah, it's a draw. It's not really a running play. Guys, a running back draw is 20 billion times a run play. You just schemed it up. What are we talking about? What are we talking about? Guys, you didn't go back to running the football for the next 15 plays after that. Like, I mean, come on now. You can't get away from it. In reference to the wide receiver 1, who is that next Louisiana wide receiver? I mean, guys, is it Kyron? I know a lot of people think Kyron's not a number 1. I think he's getting misutilized in some things. I do think he's got to be in the slot. I do think that you got to switch up him and CJ Daniels in the slot. Because, him being there as a big physical body works well for you. You know what else you got to do with Kyron? If they're playing off coverage, you got to get him the football quick. Guys, I need yards. You get what I'm saying? You're getting a lot of yards, but you're also hitting a lot of explosive plays. Because you're one of the top teams in the country in explosive play rate. You know why that is? Because it's all you do. Guys, if they're playing off coverage, like what you did on Lane Kiffin, and what Lane Kiffin literally did to you when he had his 2 scoring drives when you were playing off coverage, boom, boom. Get out of here, ball. Get out of here, ball. Aaron Judge. See, I'm live on the show, and Judge just hit a 2-run bomb to tie it up for the Yanks. Woo! Woo! P. Scott, I don't disagree. Somebody's got to step up. Somebody's got to step up. Who's it going to be? Who's it going to be? But yes, Aaron Judge, massive home run there. Our good buddy Paul from J&J Exterminating says, what's up, Blake? What's going on, my good sir? How are you? What's happening? Speaking of J&J, we need to get to a break. Our good buddy Paul, y'all in the North Shore, call him. Call him. Call the Hammond office. Y'all need something? Y'all call him. Y'all better make sure y'all ain't got no termites in y'all's house. Y'all saw that new report the other day? Y'all saw that? All right, y'all better call Paul over J&J Exterminating. What's going on, my good man? Good to have you in here. Let me get to a quick break. We'll come back and talk about Brian Kelly's press conference, some significant things that he said in the game there, or in the press conference there. And we'll come back and take some of your thoughts, questions, concerns. Put them inside the chat. We'll greatly appreciate it. We'll do that when we come back. Stay with us. Guys, I want to talk to you about our good friends over the Drake Williams Law Firm and Drake Title Company. Are you facing tough times due to an injury from a car accident, navigating the complexities of divorce, or purchasing a new home? At the Drake Williams Law Firm and Drake Title Company, they understand the challenges you're going through, and they are here to help. The lawyer team of Ernie Drake III, Ryan J. Williams, and Summer Vignair, along with Morgan Daniels, have the experience and proven track record to give you that peace of mind. Give them a call today at 985-386-7600. That's 985-386-7600 to schedule a free consultation at their brand new office located in historic downtown Ponchatoula. They're also doing a special, the AYS special. If you're refinancing or closing on a home in Southeast Louisiana, request the Drake Title Company to handle your closing. If you mention Blake Ruffino and AYS, you're going to receive a $400 discount on title fees. Again, give them a call at 985-386-7600. Let them know that Blake Ruffino sent you on. Guys, you might know my good friend Carol Foss and all the great service that he provides over at State Farm. He is your good neighbor after all. But did you know State Farm has surprisingly great rates as well? Along with the great neighbor service, State Farm agent Carol Foss has surprisingly great rates for everyone inside the state of Louisiana. So call him today at 985-395-4300, 985-395-4300 for all of those surprisingly great rates on auto, home, and life insurance needs. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there, and individual premiums will vary by customer. All applicants subject to the State Farm underwriting requirements. Guys, let me tell you about our good friends over at Easy Free Bail Bonds, LLC, where they get your feet back on the street. There may come a time where a loved one or yourself is arrested and you don't have enough money to get bail from jail. Easy Free Bail Bonds will assist you in the process of getting bail bonds for your family. These bonds are a way to ensure that you're financially covered when a predicament like an arrest occurs. Easy Free Bail Bonds is located inside the state of Louisiana with an expert team of bondsmen that are available to assist you or your family 24/7. The team is professional and has a high-quality work ethic that will give you nothing but satisfaction. The company takes feedback from past customers in order to better their services and are always looking to accommodate and mold their services that best fit your needs. So remember this number, 985-517-3631. That's 985-517-3631. Because when you need to get back on your feet and back on the street, you know who to call.
Louisiana is unique. The food, the festivals, even the bugs. No, not mud bugs. Unwanted bugs like these. The ones you don't want crawling in your home or business. Trust the Shield from J&J Exterminating. We've been protecting Louisiana homes for over 50 years, earning the trust of our clients because we deliver what we promise. Protect your home from pests. Get the Shield from J&J Exterminating.
J&J Exterminating. Yeah.
J&J has protected Louisiana homes and businesses for over 60 years.
Call him today, make pests go away. J&J Exterminating. Yeah.
Giancarlo Stanton Yard. Boom! Yankees win. So we talked about C.J. Daniels. Brian Kelly said that he is going to be probable. Hilton's out. I'm going to continue to say this. From what I've been told, or what I hear, I would not be shocked if Chris Hilton comes back for A&M. I think that there was a thought process that is a target date that they thought he could come back. With that being said, I don't trust anything around it. We'll see when he comes back. That's what I've heard. Brian Kelly was asked about Whit Weeks, and what he said is that he felt that he makes everyone and every player better around him. Completely agree. Especially Greg Penn. Greg Penn has taken his game up a level. Guys, Greg Penn's been pretty good. I'm just going to be honest. Greg Penn's been pretty good in situations. In coverage, not so much. And in run game, yes, yes, yes. I think that's been a lot to do with Whit Weeks. I think Whit has been a big source of help for Greg Penn. They continue to do some really good things. Brian Kelly was asked about the game on Saturday. I thought this was interesting. He was asked about all the challenges that happened. There was about a 5-hour game for LSU. And Brian Kelly says, look, man, not everything needs to be challenged. Touchdowns, possessions, turnover possessions, and coaches need 2 challenges. He's saying it needs to go to the NFL model. I'm going to be real with you. I think that's BS. I think everything needs to be challenged. You know why? I can sit there and wait for a call to be right in a critical situation. I can get on the referees and umpires that they're shitty and they made a bad call. But as an example on the Whit Weeks turnover, or Whit Weeks targeting, that needs to be reviewed on every single play. Every single one of them, you didn't make a determination in situation. I can sit there. I ain't got nothing else to do. Nothing else matters when LSU football's on for this show. I promise you. Nothing. Unless family. That's about it. Or Jesus Christ Almighty himself comes back. It's about the only 2 things that could get me from not watching a LSU football game live. I have been in weddings. But I will tell you, my wife's boss is getting married on LSU Bama. During LSU Bama, I won't be there. There's no way. There's no way. Brian Kelly was asked about Trey Green, says that he thinks he's continuously coming on well, moving from tight end to more of a slot receiver. It was interesting how he worded things. We don't need him getting misaligned and not knowing where to go. Well, that basically tells me that his entire week of practice, he didn't know shit. Man was getting lined up in all different positions. However, Brian Kelly said we're going to keep it minimum on things that he comes in on, but we're going to try to make those plays impactful. Like what we talked about last night and saying, give that man 5 plays, go out there and execute them. You mean that? You mean like that? Give the kid a wristband. It's really not that difficult, man. It's really not that difficult. A couple more things. Tyree Adams has a sports hernia. He got it in pregame. Brian Kelly said it was the weirdest thing he's ever seen in 33 years. Was asked if about defense, saying that Sage Ryan has been playing fast and there's a right way to play football, and that's what the defense is doing. And he's been trying to talk to and convince Sage Ryan to start playing more fast. Sage Ryan makes some progression like Major Burns did last week. Boy, that'd be really good and really nice. All right. I don't get this. Go Mahal 23 says Louisiana State University 37, University of Arkansas 17. Go Mahal. You can come in here on the post game and the shows next week if I'm wrong. And you can have at it. Hey, Blake, you were wrong about that. I was right in reference to there being a 20-point differential here. I don't see it. I just don't see it. T-Pain says, where they get your feet back on the street. You like that? I actually came up with that one. I mean, it's true. David Woodard says, LOL, no consistency, huh? Even in the same day. Gumball says, if you follow me, you know my predictions evolve throughout the game week, and I settle it on Friday. Gumball says, Blake, you stuck in the pass ball. Well, maybe I am. Maybe I am. I'm not. See y'all. You'll see y'all on Saturday in the post game, man. Y'all have a good one. Peace.